Yeah, welcome to the first episode of my Purdue Boilermakers Dynasty here on College Football 26, where ran two dynasties last year, one being with my favorite team, the Georgia Bulldogs, since we were entering, the first year of the new game in a decade, and then did one with the Tulane at Green Wave. Went 4 seasons with Georgia, 5 with Tulane, but just going with a single dynasty here on College Football 26. We're going to do Purdue. You see, I've already got the coach set up. We're running Ole Miss's playbook, a little veer and shoot. Want to be the type of offense that runs some RPOs, got some vertical shots to be taken while still having some power run element to them. Going to run a base 3-4. Obviously, you spend a lot of time in the nickel, but yeah, chose Purdue because I wanted more of a challenge than what we got last year. And I think Purdue is as big a challenge as there is in the power conferences. Went 1-11 last year. They won their first game, lost the next 11. Did not really look good throughout the course of the entire year. They have two returning starters, Devin McCoby, the running back, and their kicker. Other than that, it is essentially a completely brand new start here with the Boilermakers. It is a lot of new faces, some guys that obviously played last year that'll get a bigger role, but this is what we're rolling with. I did turn the firing for myself off just in case the first year goes as bad as it certainly could. As you can see, currently going to be signing a 4-year contract where the goal is just to win 4 games. I have some own personal goals set aside for that, but we'll get to that here in just a moment. We are going to sign in and we're going to start the dynasty. It will be with a recruiter guy as well. I think that's going to be crucial here in a team that doesn't have a whole lot of talent. You do see our coach there on the side. I like the kind of little quarter zip with the sleeves rolled up. Wish I could add like a watch or something on there. But I guess first of all, we'll start talking. Let's just start talking about the roster. I don't know why that's in there. Okay. So yeah, going to start things off here. And obviously, Devin McCoby is the star here. CJ Nunnally is a transfer they brought in from Akron, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen a whole lot of new stuff. Let's see. Does it show? Okay, so it does not show what they did the year before. I don't know if maybe they added that. So coming into the season, obviously the big first thing you're really looking at here is who is going to be your starting quarterback. I believe that I'm going to go with Ryan Brown. The person that interests me the most beyond him is probably Evans Chuba. What is his deal breaker already? Playing style. Okay, that's exciting. I love all the new stuff they've done down here at the bottom right. But Ryan Brown is a very interesting case. So got a little bit of playing time for Purdue last year. Ended up transferring to North Carolina and then transferred back after spring practice. A former 3-star. Got good caps. That was kind of the big thing, was whether or not to not utilize him would probably be going for somebody that maybe has a little bit more upside long term. But I do think Ryan Brown is going to end up being the guy that we're looking at here. Just out of curiosity, what is Evans Chuba? It does not have as good as caps. So Ryan Brown was who I planned on having be our starting quarterback. That is who is going to be our starting quarterback. Brand exposure, so we definitely need to win for sure to keep him. But I wanted to pick a quarterback that we can grow with. Obviously, it's a young quarterback room. Let's go with the most talented guy who we should have for the first, the next 3 years, depending on how Brown develops. If we move over to running back, Devin McCoby is obviously the star of this team. He's going to be the focal point of this offense as much as we can. If we start playing behind a lot, I guess you could have to make some choices. They have to throw the ball a little bit more. Malachi Thomas behind him, Gabriel Joyner, Jaheim Merriweather, Adai Llewellyn. Obviously, Llewellyn's probably not going to play a whole lot, being a 61 overall. McCoby is the best combination of like size, speed that this team has. Thomas at that size is probably pretty solid. He does have a brand exposure deal maker. Okay. Obviously, there's different levels to that, but probably going to be a lot of these two at the top. Probably going to try to get Gabriel Joyner and Merriweather used a little bit. Joyner's got kind of a similar skill set to McCoby. So we'll see. But with the new wear and tear system and the improvements that they've made to that, you may end up using a lot more guys. As we move over here to wide receiver, I think this is where you kind of get into the same situation with the quarterback. You kind of want some of these younger guys to get a chance to play and hopefully do something. So you got a couple of former Georgia Bulldogs here, Denali Morissette, Nitro Tuggle, Michael Jackson, who is really just a special teamer for Georgia. But Tuggle is definitely, I think, the biggest interesting piece of this room. He's got the star development. Kind of limited cap situation here for sure. He's not going to get too much better, really and truly, but can really improve on his hands and catching traffic. And some of his power play could certainly be better. So maybe not the best role there for him, but interested in getting him some looks early. He's the fastest player that's on this entire team. But you're definitely going to see Chauncey Magwood, Charles Ross, probably Nitro Tuggle is probably going to be our top three. I would guess Michael Jackson is more of a possession type guy here. But as you can see, it's not a great wide receiver room here at all. Let's see. Some of these freshmen is like a Corey Smith that he happened to get like great caps and a good development. So he's got impact development with solid caps. So Corey Smith's a guy maybe you redshirt. He can be a player for you next year. So he does have the opportunity here for a lot of growth with his attributes, which is obviously huge. But like these top three guys are all seniors. What are you really going to get, out of them beyond this year? But I want to make sure that we're giving ourselves a chance to play some of these younger guys and grow, because I have pretty low expectations this season. I do have goals that I have in mind that I want to make sure we're working towards, but it's obviously not a loaded team at all. Oh, moving over to tight end, obviously they lost Max Clare. He ended up transferring over to Ohio State. One of their top players last year was probably the best player on the team in total. Tight end room is not spectacular here. I believe it's George Buren here that has dealt with injuries and stuff, but kind of flashes when he's able to play. Does have impact development. Definitely a lot of room to grow as a blocker, and his route running might be a guy that we kind of focus on, I would guess. With him being a sophomore, probably end up sliding him into the top spot, letting him grow with the rest of the team. Jalen St. John here at left tackle is the top guy. Doesn't really matter what his deal breaker is. Solid left tackles. That's a good start. There's not a ton of high upside there behind him. Udonis Davis here at left guard. It's an okay situation. Center, you got Giordano Vaccaro and Ethan Trent. So Mason Vicari, sophomore starter. Pretty well a tapped out player, which is not great. So I kind of think we already see where our recruiting is going to be focused here. And I know with this team being a two-star roster is probably not going to be great with the initial recruiting, or a two-star program prestige. And got a right tackle here, Bacon Coley. You got Jude Makowski behind him. So okay room there. At that point, it might be worth just playing Makowski over that. Moving over to edge, CJ Madden here, another transfer that they have brought in. Does have star development with a lot of room to grow here. Has this year and next year. Certainly could be a guy that maybe with a good offseason development maybe gets in the low 80s. So that's a big key player there. CJ Nunnally, of course, we talked about the other quote-unquote best player on the team. Senior transferred in, was good in Akron, and now is getting another chance here. So he is the focal point of the defense. It's going to be these two edge guys. Defensive tackle, got Jamarius Jenkins, Jamarian Harkless, D'Amico Kennedy's pretty solid overall. TJ Lindsey, another great player that I think we could develop in the future. He's got good development, really good caps. Need to find a way to get him on the field. I think I'm gonna spend a lot of this year, obviously playing our higher ups, like our best players, but rotating in these younger pieces. Like this is a defensive tackle room that I think could really grow over the next couple of years. Sam Stewart, young true freshman there. Monty Powell at middle linebacker. Good speed. Got a good athlete here in Winston Berglund. Okay, so middle linebacker group is not terrible. Linebacker group overall is okay. You got Tony Grimes here at cornerback. Senior, good player. Obviously not going to have but so much development over the course of the year, but very, very rock solid, good size speed combination guy. Chad Brown, Ryan Turner. So that's a piece for us to really focus on moving into next year. Travion Wright, is probably a guy we need to be playing a pretty good bit here as well. Like he'll certainly be playing over Taj Rael, just for the simple fact of the speed combination there with similar overalls. Got a chance to grow a little bit. Free safety got Richard Tony, Sterling Smith, so not a terrible group there at free safety. And then a couple of guys at strong safety. Solid sophomore kicker here, so good to have that for a couple of years. And yeah, that's kind of a rundown of the roster. And I think the thing that stands out the most is you have some guys that I think we could develop. Ryan Brown, Gabriel Joyner, Nitro Tuggle, Jess Watson, a wide receiver, get Burhan up and getting him used to being the starter. Maybe he develops pretty well. A right tackle, probably just end up starting Jude Mikowski there and just seeing what happens since Coley's just a 1 year gap and they're the same overall. At edge, making sure CJ Madden gets as many snaps as possible. Probably the same with Seabrooks. We're obviously trying to win games, and Nunnally is a great player for us. Maybe Seabrooks is the first guy off the bench behind both of those edge guys. And then I look at TJ Lindsey and Harkless and Kennedy here at defensive tackle, trying to find ways to get these guys on the field and getting snaps. Because now we're going to take a look at this schedule. Just like I did last year, we keep the same schedule, so we are going to have an FCS team here in week 2. But we're going to play Ball State, FCS Midwest, and then you get Wright. So that's 2 hopeful wins, right? There's no guarantee, even for Purdue, at home, that you beat Ball State. There's no guarantee of that. Now, we should certainly beat FCS Midwest, but that's why you play the games. But then things really kick off here. You got USC, Notre Dame. So we got 4 home games to start the year, which is great. Hoping to win 2 of them for sure. Illinois, then you finally go on the road here. It's Minnesota at Northwestern, back home for Rutgers. Then you're on the road for Michigan. You host Ohio State, go to Washington, and then finish it up here with a rivalry game against Indiana. As I'm looking at this schedule, the first big major goal that I have for Purdue is getting to the bowl game. I think that is the biggest thing that we can do to start moving that program prestige up that will allow us to bring in the better players as we are really trying to develop here. So the first thing, get to a bowl game. Second thing, beat Indiana. This is an Indiana team that was great last year. It's a bit of a retool for the Hoosiers. I'm sure they're going to be much better than us, but that just kind of is what it is. Really need to get back up, though, in that rivalry. And then, I think for us to get to bowl eligibility, we're pretty much going to have to do my third goal here. But I would really like to, even outside of beating Indiana, I'd like to beat one of this grouping of USC, Notre Dame, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. Like, one of these, 5 super big games. You could probably add in Washington to that, too. But I think the 5 biggest games on this schedule for me, you get the home game with USC, then you host Notre Dame, who is great, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State. You get majority of those games at home, right? You only go on the road for one of them. Can we get at least one of those victories? Because obviously as a human player, I should be able to outplay the computer most of the time. So as I'm looking at that, Ball State, I feel pretty good about going 2-0. I think can probably pull something out of this three set between USC, Notre Dame, Illinois. Minnesota was 8-5 last year. They're rock solid. It's a road game. Kind of is what it is. Northwestern, I think we can get a victory there. So that puts us at 4, hopefully, at that point in time. Maybe 5. Maybe it is just 3. You got to find a way to beat a Rutgers that lost a lot of their a lot of their talent. Going to be hard-pressed to get one of these 2 wins, which pretty much sets you up to having to beat Washington and Indiana at the finishing of the year to get to the bowl game. That is my number 1 goal here for season 1, is to make sure that we win 6 games. With a team that is not good, that was dreadful in the Big Ten last year. That is my overarching goal as we get things started here in year 1. It's a very tough conference. I'm obviously a Georgia Bulldog fan, so I would say that obviously, I think the SEC in general is the toughest, but I do think that the SEC has gotten more top-heavy, for sure, to an extent. I think the Big Ten is probably the most well-balanced top-to-bottom conference, in the country. Like I really, truly think that. A USC, most of them play Notre Dame. You almost count them, as an extra Big Ten team. But Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State, Washington was just good a couple of years ago. Indiana really grew. We don't even have Penn State on the schedule. Rutgers has been improving. Minnesota has been improving. Illinois is certainly on the way up. It's just really tough to see where you're at here in the Big Ten. I would argue we're the worst team, probably. I would almost be sure this is the worst team in the conference. Actually, Maryland is a lower overall than us. But yeah, you look at the top, Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Iowa, always rock solid because they're always great defensively. Wisconsin, always solid. USC, obviously can always explode at any point in time. You have new teams, that are UCLA. Can be solid, great recruiting pipeline. Illinois has improved. Still have Nebraska that can still recruit to a certain extent. Michigan State, rock solid. It's a very good, it's a great top to bottom conference. It really is. There's so few really terrible teams to me in it. And I think us just trying to slowly make our way up that ladder, I think, is going to be huge. Before we get to recruiting, because I want to do all this together with us trying to, go through to see what recruiting looks like to begin with. We are going to go ahead and do some of these coach abilities. We did go the recruiter route. I just think it makes the most sense to do that. Let's hop in here. I think focusing on offensive and defensive line, I think, are a really big initial step here for us. I think that will be huge. I want to build this team where it's really good at wide receiver and just really good overall on defense. I think I can largely overcome the running backs. I think the quarterbacks are obviously important. So we might be okay kind of getting away with that with the youth that we have at that position. But I think maybe going ahead and getting some of this defensive stuff filled out. Then now, really at this point with the points we have, we can probably just do everything. We'll leave one of the running backs. We'll go ahead and just try to do just as much as we can. Recruiting, I think, is the way to go here initially. And then kind of focusing out and balancing out this coach in other ways the best that we can. Obviously, we could have done a little tactician, could have done a little motivator. This team is just so far behind from a pure talent perspective that I think it's important for us to just focus on getting as much talent in here. Our offensive coordinator, Josh Henson, obviously a D-plus prestige guy, so not great, but he does have motivator, which helps, and it's the same thing with Scherer, here, our defensive coordinator. So we can kind of focus on the recruiting, let them focus on helping us out there on the back end. But yeah, let's and again, we are running the Ole Miss offense, at least to start things off with. Probably eventually customize this for sure. And then a base 3-4, just I know it's going to be very nickel heavy. Preseason top 25, obviously, we're not going to be there, but we'll finish that out at the end. But yeah, that's going to be the schedule. We've kind of gotten a base look at the roster. Let's hop in here and take a look at recruiting. And we have a ton of needs pretty much everywhere, which is very exciting. Who is, if we do search, interest in school, let's do top 3, and then we'll just sort that way just to kind of get us started. First things first, come up, got a top 100 player here in Dom Turner, a running back out of Ohio. I mean, we need guys. Golly, we got so many players and needs to fill out with very little hours. Like a guy like him is a 4-star guy. I don't even know that I even debate looking at it. Are we really losing 4 running backs too? We have 4 running backs leaving, 3 seniors. Golly, okay. All right. I think that messed up my search thing. This is going to be the part of the video that probably takes the longest, is kind of getting through this. So if you're not really interested in looking at us setting up the recruiting board, that's kind of the basis of what we feel about Purdue. I guess we'll just say that. Let's start looking at this kind of position by position. Let's see. So we got a 4-star quarterback, Demarius Childs, backfield creator. Okay. J.D. Coffey. So 2 top 400-ish guys. They really like some other schools, which is kind of a problem. We'll probably just pick one and roll with trying to get the one. So we've got a couple of running backs that we're interested in. Let's just kind of skip around here momentarily. Not a lot here at the wide receiver room. So DeAndre Smith is going to be somebody very important for us to take a look at as a 3-star. Has us first. Got a JUCO guy here. Not really interested in that. Obviously, you don't really know what any of these guys have talent-wise, but 2- and 3-star guys are probably not going to be great. Maybe DeAndre Smith is okay, but the wide receiver recruiting is looking a little bland there. We're good on tight ends. Let's come back to that because we have a lot of other needs to fill. Offensive tackles. Take a look at some of these guys that have us first. It's a JUCO guy. Maybe we'll kind of do that to fill out that spot momentarily. Offensive guard, we need a couple here. Okay. Center, we need to look at 1. So we got a pipeline influence here on Chester Rasmussen. I think we can roll probably with that. He's got us first with some schools kind of more in our veins. We should be okay there. Okay, so quickly coming over here to edge, we got a 4-star guy here, David Schumacher. That has us first out of Indiana. That's great. Skylar Devin, another guy here. I have him at the top. Trying to look at just some of these guys that 3 or 4 stars that have us first is certainly a big help here initially. Shows we're good on defensive tackles, so we'll skip that for right now. Momentarily, got to fill out a bunch of other needs. Looking at some Sam and Will players here at outside linebacker. Let's see, signal color. We'll do. Take a look at both these guys. It'll be fine. Here at the Mike, we are supposed to be going after 5 linebackers. It's saying I have a need for 33 players. We have 20. This is a big senior class, too. Next year is not a ton, at least, unless somebody leaves or transfers in. This is senior. We're only looking at 10 players next year. Okay. Again, that messed up my thing. Sorry about that. Let's just see. We're going to have no points to see if any of these guys are even really that good, which is super fun and exciting to realize. This guy's a 3-star that does like us, already has us first. We'll look at a couple of these guys at Mike, at least initially. May have to fill in some of these spots later on down the road. Cornerback, something I really want to focus on here. Got a field, bump and run, zone. What I would like to do is make a man press team that throws some blitzes in there, maybe a lot more than what I did last year. with both of my dynasties, but obviously until the talent gets to that point, I'm probably not going to do a whole ton of that. So we'll look at a couple of cornerbacks there, free safety. Take a look and just see if one of these two that really stands out that maybe we can push for. And strong safety is not looking great. We are at 35 targets. Okay. All right, so start looking at some of these players. 80 throw on the run, 78 short, 74 medium, 76 accuracy. Does have adrenaline there, okay? 84 arm strength is going to be tough to play with, man. Okay. Yeah, J.D. Coffey did not look great. Not crazy hype about a guy that's a bust 4-star guy, which means he's probably more of a 3, but 84 throw power. I mean, even Childs with just 85 is not great. Let's go ahead and we will take Coffey off. Just really focus on Childs there. Take a look at some of these runs. 83 speed is just... And I don't know what maybe some of the speed thresholds are, but 83 speed that's going to be almost unplayable. Change directions is solid. That's a tough look for both of them. But 4 stars that don't have a bust or a gem. DeAndre Smith, got to really hope here. 90 speed, I think we can let the rest of that develop. Miles Goodley, 84 speed, a little on the slower side. Harvin's probably going to be very similar, 86 speed. Okay. So you can probably work with these at least a little bit. Maybe Goodley's just a slot underneath guy. Skipped over the tight ends. Got a lot of offensive linemen to try to look at here. Need to try to conserve some points. Do 2 clicks on everybody. So let's see, 75 run block. Don't have his pass block. 70 run block. At least I didn't see it. Okay. I think all these guys are probably okay. I don't think they're going to kill you. Probably offer all of them scholarships. George Hodges. You can't use the recruiting points for anything else. I just want to try to get through 2 clicks on everybody. Okay. $55 finesse is not great. The 75 power moves is 78-58 for him. We don't his finesse moves, so he is not really. He is just a run defender there. Skylar Devin. Okay. And he has power moves are probably going to be okay. So let's go ahead and let's move Devin down. Can I not move him right here? Maybe I can't do it on this screen. Devin probably needs to fall a little bit behind these guys, get some more pass rush upside there. Nope. Defensive tackle, we kind of left that alone. Outside linebacker, 77 speed, that's okay. 63 awareness, not a great tackler though. 70 play rec, 82, so Bessinger. Okay. So not a good man guy. Zone is going to be okay. I think we can work with Benzinger, Clarence Lay, and Keegan Econom. I think those 3 are solid. Crocker, 77 speed, 79 zone. Okay, so all those guys I'm okay with, even though we did burn all the points. I'm about out of points here. Speed's going to be, looks like some pretty decent middle linebacker guys here too. We are about out here though. We are already out of hours. That is crazy. Crazy. Didn't even get a chance to go over the free safeties or strong safeties. Well, then, I think since I kind of got these guys in line here. I think we can go ahead and at least skip to the next thing. I probably shouldn't have gone full depth on Dom Turner and Veerling. I am really worried about that speed. I do like Demarius Childs. Let's hop out. So we've already used all the points that we really can there. Do I need to, is there a way I need to set up the settings to make the settings all just me? So I really don't want the computer doing any recruiting for me at all. Is that a thing? Auto recruiting is off. Okay. We are going to let the players auto progress, at least to start off with, and then we'll go from there. So auto recruiting is off. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and simulate. We'll do a little bit more recruiting and get through week 0. We're at about the 30-minute mark here of the first episode. And then kind of finish up doing that, and we'll be ready then for episode 2 to move us right into the first game. First game I play on the game will literally be Ball State. So anything new that's on there. Okay, so we're looking, Childs, we fail already for him. A lot of players already at risk to transfer. Very exciting. Very exciting. Very exciting. Okay, so nothing great news there for Childs. We moved. I think I've already made my first mistake, not offering scholarships. I didn't know that we could even offer a scholarship in week 1. Oh, I did forget that you could do that. That's on me. That's on me. Okay. Well, some we'll just have to, live and you learn, I guess. Going to go ahead and offer some of these guys scholarships. We've lost some momentum, which is exciting. Obviously nothing that we can't overcome. Did like all of these guys enough where I think we're okay. Offering them scholarships. Offensive tackle, all these guys I thought got off to pretty good starts for us. Did we already fall behind? All these teams already offer scholarship. We're still close. Okay. Didn't get an instant commit there. Shoemaker, definitely a guy that we want bad here for sure. Skylar Kevin, Devin, we need to move a little bit farther down the list there. Really wish I would remember to I'll go ahead and offer some scholarships. That would have been nice. Of course, I was out of points, even just trying to scout people. Kind of the tough thing of initially going through this. Some of these guys are already getting a ton of offers too. Not even really going to be able to go through and really recruit these guys either by the time we offer scholarships. Having to fill a lot of spots obviously makes this a little bit more difficult. We haven't even scouted the strong safeties and we're offering them. Okay. Now that we've gotten through and went ahead and offered scholarships, we should be okay. Like for these strong safeties, don't have any offers. First offer there for Brendan Folk. Okay, we're looking okay on some of these scholarships. I think we need to make a push for Demarius Childs. That's already going to be a tough one to overcome. We'll see. We can maybe do like 35 to him. Turner or Veerling? Do you just make a choice on one of these guys right now? 83, 93, they're pretty much the exact same player. Very, very close. We have the pipeline with Turner. Maybe we focus on him first. Get him 35. DeAndre Smith, 90 speed. I mean, we might have to kind of roll with that. We just said there's just no hours. We have no hours available. Offer scholarships and just see what the growth is maybe on some of these guys. But, it's going to be a lot of just kind of behind-the-scenes recruiting, I think, here over the course of these first couple of weeks. We were the only guys to offer these 3. Those are going to be tough ones now to overcome. A lot of people already showing interest. We'll put the points on these ones that were the only scholarship so far. We'll do the same here. And we'll take that one away. Rasmussen, we're the only one he's got. We'll just send a 5 there. Golly, just these teams already taking such a big jump on us. Darryl Jones, good power move to begin with. Make sure we get him a little bit. Beckham, good finesse move, so kind of a good one on the opposite side for him. And we're first for Skylar Devin, but not really excited about his pass rush upside there at all. Crocker's which one of these guys is the better athlete? Benzinger. One here to Clay. Those guys, golly, just have no hours to work with. Just have nothing to work with. That's the challenge, though. On the slide, I don't even know what he looks like at all as a recruit. Got to get some bodies in here, though. I think that's the toughest thing with the initial look at this roster is he's already a. Yeah, we'll hold off on him. In-state guy. Maybe we can work with that. Another in-state guy. All right, now we need to go back. So we got 30 points to work with. Martin Crocker here at wheel. Tack on another 5 here to Benzinger. Lay. We'll leave that for right now. Edge. Shoemaker. He already got a bunch of people that are after him. Darryl Jones, you just kind of go all in on him. Add another 25 to that, 75. I think we'll do that. Whew. Burning through the points. Obviously, the real strategy will be this year you just got so many holes to fill. You almost have no choice but to kind of take a leap. Try to get as many people to sign and then backfill transfer portal as early as you can. Next year, we'll be able to kind of choose a smaller gap of players just because there's less people graduating. We're going to simulate here through week 0. Do a little bit more recruiting stuff. And then we'll hop out of here getting ready for that first game. Definitely have some positive moves there, recruiting-wise, it looked like. That screen is still a little bit slower than I would like it to be. Take a look quickly at the scores going around the country in week 0. Going to try to do a better job of like really digging into these stats and stuff as it comes up. So, had a massive week 0 game here. Iowa State ended up beating Kansas State. Rocco Beck, looks like he was just solid, didn't turn the ball over. Ran it really well, though. Beck had a touchdown. Abu Sama just had 4 carries, scored 10 touchdowns in there. Carson Hansen had a really nice day. A couple of receivers really got involved there for Iowa State. Kansas State, no passing touchdowns, no interceptions for either one of these teams. Avery Johnson, of course, is a freak player. He was a dominant player on College Football 25. Irvin and Dylan Edwards combined for 3 touchdowns there. Avery Johnson got involved. Garrett Oakley, the tight end, looked good. Jace Brown, their top wide receiver, looked good there as well. Okay. We had Kansas barely there over Fresno State, Sam Houston over Western Kentucky, and then we had Stanford over Hawaii. So we went over at least the biggest game there of the week. Let's take another look here at recruiting. Now we have 170 extra points. So we moved up here for Demarius Childs. He's in his top 5. We're 3rd on interest. We moved up. We're going to have to use some points here. We don't really know anything of what he likes. This is a recruitment that looks like it could be over relatively soon. We'll try to hold off on scheduling the visit. Let's try to do to Indiana, maybe. We don't know what we want to do yet. Oh, I forgot you can't. Yeah. Okay. So let's. We're already putting 35 his way. Did not have as much success even as those other teams did. We're going to go all in on him. We're going to send the house at Childs, see if that helps us kind of close that gap. Running back. Really already falling behind here for Veerling for Kansas. I just don't really think that's going to be. I don't think we're going to be a big enough needle mover against them. We're battling them for both, but we took a bigger gain there over Turner. We're going to keep focusing on Dom Turner here, put an extra 5 in. Wide receiver, so we took a big jump here for DeAndre Smith. We'll just hold that just as it is. Took the biggest jump there for Goodley. Maybe just throw each of these guys a bone. Tackle. Just took a big jump there. No reason to do any more for Irwin, at least for right now. Ham, we got a big lead for. Already way behind here for Daniels. Okay, so we'll kind of focus. Let's do, we'll tack on another 5s. I still don't have a ton of points to work with on these top 3. Hodges, we took a nice lead for there. Connell, so we're looking good for both of them. Looking good for the center. Good lead there for Devin. Good lead for Beckham. Big lead there for Jones. We want to tack some more on here to Beckham. Put an extra 15 there. Shoemaker, that's not like an insurmountable jump there. Go 25 to him. Tack on another 5 here to Lay. Let's take a look, see what the rest looks like. Don't have any points at all put into these guys. It's crazy. Put 10 on Goodwin. Gonna leave them for right now. Angelo Olsen. That speed 85. Golly. .54 zone. That is going to be tough to overcome there. Oops, actually wasted 10 points there. I think we're going to push a little bit more here for Awesome. We'll add the last 10 there to him. And I think that's going to do it here for episode 1. I'll get the depth charts and stuff kind of together with at least what I'm initially thinking. And yeah, I'm actually going to cut this off and I'll hop right back in here and we'll play against Ball State here in just a little bit. Thank you so much. You guys will kind of get the feedback, and the way I did this episode is largely the way that I play the game. It's the full game, not a lot of cuts unless I happen to get like a 10-minute work call or something like that. I don't do any cuts. You see everything. It's just me playing the game. So if that interests you, please like and subscribe. Leave me feedback down below. I'm excited to get a very tough Dynasty, I feel like, crunk up here with Purdue. And if you do enjoy the content, obviously like, subscribe. Check out my other stuff that I have working on the channel as well. I have Atlanta Hawks franchise and NBA 2K25 still going on, and we do have a Seattle Mariners franchise on MLB The Show at 25 going on as well. We're in year 3 in that one. And yeah, that'll do it for me here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.